The 80s and 90s spawned some of the best crime-fighting martial arts teams ever created. The Ninja Turtles, the Three Ninjas, Power Rangers, the Big Bad Beetleborgs. And as a money-hungry executive at the time, you're looking to capitalize on this trend. You're trying to come up with your own anthropomorphic kung fu crime-fighting team so that you can start printing money like everybody else. And what you come up with are human kangaroo hybrids that are so weird and unsettling that your movie flops and you lose $30 million. And that movie is Warriors of Virtue. This movie was released in 1997, and I clearly and vividly remember seeing the trailers for this on TV, wanting to go and see it, thinking that it looked so cool, very Ninja Turtles-esque, but I never ended up seeing it because the movie failed and bombed so hard that I think it just went in and out of my mind. There was no popularity around it. Nobody at school was talking about it. Why the hell would I care about this movie? But by chance, I came across a copy on VHS, the glorious analog format, and I knew it was time for me to sit down and watch this piece of shit. And what I found was a really weird but memorable movie where really the only thing that was interesting is the main villain, which is odd. Ryan Jeffers is a disabled boy. He wears magic shoes, kind of like Forrest Gump, but only on one leg. Is disabled, is that correct? Is that the correct term? I feel like it's probably not. We first meet him in the bathroom, reading comic books, maybe getting ready to crank his hog. Not really, but I mean, he is in the bathroom reading comics. There's like stacks of comics in this bathroom. It's a weird choice. Then we switch over and he is in the kitchen of a restaurant watching a karate chef just be absolutely awesome. The karate chef's name is Ming, and this is one of Ryan's adult male friends. Throughout the movie, it doesn't appear that Ryan's dad is around, so I'm assuming that Ming is some kind of stand-in for a father figure. We then find out that Ryan is the water boy for the football team, but he's more than that, you know? He has an eye for great plays, and he gives some of the players advice on what they should do. And what do? They spit the water out on his shoes. His magic shoes. Then the dickhead takes his advice anyways and scores a touchdown, and Ryan's going crazy. He's super excited. But then as he looks into the stands, he sees the girl of his dreams cheering on this football player who Ryan gave the advice to do the play, and he realizes that he is never ever going to be the guy on the field. He's always going to be the water boy on the sideline with wet shoes. But Ryan does have a really cool black friend named Chucky, and Chucky is awesome. This guy has a lot of really cool sayings. They have a cool handshake together. Chucky is very street smart and has common sense, where Ryan is a bit of an airhead and gullible and falls for very obvious traps and tricks. After the game, him and Chucky are walking down the sidewalk, and Brad and a bunch of the other football players, as well as the girl that Ryan has the hots for. Brad does this very quick, cool whip around on his bike. They tell them, hey, we're going to hang out later if you guys want to. Like, thanks for the play. That was really cool of you. You guys should come and hang out with us. He's saying all of this in a way that says, we are going to with you hard. Something very bad is going to happen to you, but you should come hang out. Chucky, being smart, is like, dude, no, what are you talking about? And Ryan's like, no, we should. And so they end up going. They break into an old pump facility or something, where Brad then tells them that in order to join their crew or be cool, they have to tag their name on this wall. In between where they're at and the wall is a giant whirlpool, and there's a rusty old pipe over the top of it. Brad goes over and then says, come on, Ryan, you got to come over here. Ryan has a magic shoe. This is very obviously not going to work. If he falls in this whirlpool, he will drown to death. So Brad is essentially trying to kill him. and what ends up happening is water comes out of this other pipe, and that washes Ryan down the whirlpool, where he probably drowns. He wakes up in another world, another magical place. And then a bunch of ninja knights who look like they're straight out of Berserk just show up and try to shove a sword into Ryan's back and kill him. They don't ask questions. They do not care. Luckily, his backpack saves him. Oh, earlier I forgot to mention, Ming gives Ryan this book, the Book of Tao, and says, I think that you could really learn a lot from this. This is what helped me kind of mature and, realize my potential and become more confident in who I am. And now I can kick water faucet handles off in my job. And then the ninjas are warded off by some kind of beast. We're not really totally sure what this thing is yet. He starts walking around and realizes that his magic shoe is gone. His leg is cured. He is a perfect boy. He could score touchdowns now. He's also attacked by the dancing man from Twin Peaks. And then Wendy Peppercorn from The Sandlot, she shows up and she takes him to somewhere else. After this, we get introduced to Komodo, who is our main bad guy. And let me tell you, Komodo is awesome. This dude rocks. He is the best part of the movie, hands down. The actor is just giving it his all to be as weird and over the top and outlandish as he possibly can, and he is crushing it. We find out that he has apparently been mining these things called life springs. What comes out of them is some kind of elixir or something that he has been drinking. This keeps him young, keeps him strong. He is obsessed with mining these things and having control over all of them, and just kind of generally just being a piece of shit. He also has a lot of henchmen who are bald and have goatees. That seems to just be the look that he wants them to have. We find out that the book that Ming gave Ryan is actually called this Manuscript of Legend. It's very important, and it holds information that only certain people who are like worthy or something can read, or I don't know. We're also introduced to like the people who live in this world. Some people are human. Some people are human animal hybrids that look very weird and scary. One is like a water buffalo who kind of acts really crazy and quirky. This character should be incredibly memorable and have a lot of one-liners. They tried to do that with him, but it doesn't really work. He also has this rhino sidekick. They both are kind of like these comedic goofballs. And then we are introduced to the Roos, the Warriors of Virtue. They are what is called Roos. They are human and kangaroo, and they are crazy. They jump and do crazy moves, and they like glide across. I mean, they are constantly in motion, no matter what, intensely. They move very quickly. They do a lot of crazy kung fu moves. Yeah, they're wild. And they are weird looking. Each one of them seems to also have their own Captain Planet power, like metal or water, wood. We also meet their master, Master Chung, who I called Karate Grandpa the whole time. He is a pretty cool character, though. He's kind of the Master Splinter of the Roo group. We also have one of the Roos that's missing. His name's Jan. He's the only one whose name I remember. Jan has gone into seclusion because he killed a guy in a battle, and that's not who he is. He doesn't like that he did that. So Ryan goes to find him and convince him, hey, we've got to get this manuscript or something, or Komodo has a manuscript, so you got to help me. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then Ryan bullies him for like 30 seconds, and then he's like, okay, yeah. Dancing Man from Twin Peaks shows up again, and just very easily, Ryan, again, being an idiot, gullible, trusts everybody, just easily tricks him into getting kidnapped by Komodo's guys again. It's too easy with this kid. The Warriors go to Komodo's place. They're also gullible and easy to trap, and he traps them all immediately in chains and then throws them into a pit with like spinning metal fans, but they get out of that because one of the Roos, the metal Roo, he throws hoops and he stops the metal fan from chopping them all up into little tiny kangaroo steaks. Ryan and Master Chung are sitting around talking, and then all of a sudden Komodo shows up, and Master Chung and Komodo have hands down the most badass fight in the whole movie. It's not shot very well, but it is still cool. It's great. This is one of the best parts of the whole film. We also find out that Alicia, Wendy Peppercorn, she is bad, and she is also banging Komodo. She also is able to trick Ryan, which on this one, I'm going to let it go. I think, that's not his fault. She could pull up in a windowless van and be offering me candy, and I would get in. So I don't blame him. Around this time, Komodo, he really starts getting crazy. It's like every single scene with him is almost like a fever dream. Everything that he's doing is so out there and weird, and it is just wonderful to watch. I love Komodo. And the reason that they want Ryan is because they have this manuscript, but they need somebody who can read it, and they think that Ryan can read it. Ryan opens up the book, and there's nothing on the pages. He can't read it. can't read it. Then this character, I don't know her name, I called her Rita Repulsa the whole time. She shows up, she kills Alicia, and then Komodo just kills her like 2 seconds later. Women be dying. And then Dancing Man from Twin Peaks shows up again. Remember, he tried to kill Ryan at the beginning. Then he tricked him and sold him out to be kidnapped and taken to Komodo. Now he's showing up and being like, hey man, you can totally trust me now. The Warriors need you. They're back at the good place. The Warriors had gone through a huge fight back at the place, and they fought off a lot of the bad guys. And Ryan, finally coming to his senses, is like, get the f*** out of here, man. F*** you. I'm not going to trust you. F***ing shorty. Just tells him off. Twin Peaks just kind of walks away all mopey. He's like, I really need your help. I would never trust this guy. You should not trust this guy. He's bad news. And so now we come to like the big fight between Komodo and the Warriors. He killed off Karate Grandpa. I forgot to mention that. He kills him. So now it's all the Warriors versus Komodo. How's this going to work? One guy versus what, five? 5 kangaroos? No way. Komodo multiplies. It's crazy. It's awesome. What's nuts about this whole thing is that these warriors, all they do is train, it seems. They're constantly doing moves all the time. They should be able to kick this guy's ass easily, but he wipes the floor with all of them. All he does is lay around and be weird all day, and he is kicking their asses. During the fight, Ryan can now read the book. He reads one page, and that's the answer that he needs. I didn't even really fully understand it. Basically, Ryan kind of sacrifices himself, and the Roos all do this Captain Planet shit, kind of like Kamehameha blast Komodo. Komodo doesn't actually die. He just comes out, and he's a nice guy now. He doesn't really know where he's at. He's just good now. And then Ryan dies, seemingly for the second time. But he's transported back into the pump station where he is back on the pipe, and Brad's egging him on, and he says, you know what? Beat it, Brad. And so he leaves, and then Brad gets trapped over on the side, and they all have a good laugh. And that's the end of the movie. Ming leaves him a cocoon. I don't know. I'm really not surprised this movie didn't spawn a billion-dollar franchise. It is very odd, and they made a lot of odd choices with both the story and the characters. The concept of it is really cool. Kung Fu kangaroos, I like that. I think that that's cool, and that has a potential to be very awesome and unique. But what they were clearly doing here was some kind of Ninja Turtles, we're going to do our own Ninja Turtles thing, right? The execution is not very good. The design of these characters, while cool, is just way too off-putting. They're too human-like. I don't know if it doesn't work because they're mammal. The Ninja Turtles are reptiles, and they're turtles. Very cool. But we're also not associating our mammal brains to them being the same as us. And also the design of the turtles is just awesome. And each one of them has their own personality. These kangaroos, I don't know which one was which. They were all just kind of the same thing. One threw metal stuff and didn't talk. I think that was the same one. I knew that one, and then Jan, because they say his name like 20 times. But I couldn't distinctly tell you what any of them were or what they could do. And then the way that they made them talk, oh, well, they talk a lot like this. It's you gotta make them sound normal, man. Out of all the characters, besides Komodo rocks, but all of the characters, none of them are bad. It just didn't feel like I really got enough out of it to really care about any of them. Everything kind of felt a little rushed, or maybe we just didn't put enough in to make this matter. Ryan's arc specifically, for him being the main character, I was like, what in the hell? I guess him going to this place was a way for him to become more confident in who he is, to not hold himself back because of his situation, which I can understand. But I'm not really sure what Ryan does or learns. And then with the whole Ming thing, like, it's kind of alluded to that Ming also went to this place, but we never get any closure on that. We don't know. It's just kind of maybe slightly implied. It's a little weird. I'll keep talking about Komodo for the rest of the video because Komodo is awesome. He puts in the work. He is amazing. He is so fun and funny. I understood what his motivations were, and I loved every second that he was on screen. But he is the villain, and the villain shouldn't be the one that you like the most, especially in some kind of crime-fighting martial arts group ensemble movie like this. So is this some kind of underrated movie from the 90s that nobody saw? No. Is this one of those movies that I would classify as so bad that it's good? I think yes. I think that it falls into that. It is not a bad movie. It is fun. There's a lot going on and a lot of what the f*** happening. And I think that that makes it so bad that it's good. I enjoyed myself with this. However, it's hard to watch it and not feel like it was such a missed opportunity on so many levels. Like what this could have been versus what it actually is. It's just disappointing. It's very fun. It has a fun world. It's got a lot of really interesting looking characters, even if they are a little weird and scary looking. It also is doing these really cool things like with wire motion, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but this was like years before Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't remember this happening in movies before then, so that's pretty interesting. It was kind of like pioneering something like that. But those kangaroos are so intense. Everything they do, even when they're normally talking, they are. It's all the time. Not a great movie, but definitely a fun watch. I definitely would recommend checking it out. But what do you think? Have you seen Warriors of Virtue? What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it? Does it give you warm, fuzzy nostalgia feelings when you think about those creepy looking kangaroos? Sound off in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.